If we believe the algorithm these days, we think that every woman is a gold digger, right? You need to drive a Lambo, you need a big Rolex, you need a big fat bank account to get any women these days, because that's the loud minority on podcasts and street interviews that, gets pushed to us. It's super dramatic, but I think it's not true. And I know it's not true because I'm meeting girls every day on the streets and cafes, and I'm coaching guys to do the same, to cold approach normal women, cute yoga teachers, girls who work at a bank, girls who, are just studying psychology, and they want something else, trust me. So in this video, I want to go through 5 masculine habits that you can start this month to gain more attraction and to get actual real world women attracted to you. So let's start. So habit number 1 is working out regularly. No secret that working out is healthy, it's good, and of course it makes you attractive. First of all, it clears your mind. It gets your thoughts away from the daily struggles, the daily problems that you have. And that by itself is a big benefit, just being more grounded, more stable, and having a clearer state of mind. Of course, we also want to increase our fitness to be stronger physically and to look better. It's no secret that women are attracted to a well-built man, right? Of course, if there's 2 men and they're on every other metric the same, but one is really in shape and the other one is not, most women will obviously choose the guy in shape. It looks good, but it's not only about looks, it's about discipline. A man who can work out regularly communicates something to the world. He shows that he can stick to a routine, he can stick to a schedule, he can make a plan and then deliver on that plan. He's basically making a promise to himself and then delivering on that promise. If we also think more primal, a guy who's bigger, more bulky, he can protect her better. She can feel safe around him. Working out regularly is obviously good, pushes your muscles and pushes your testosterone, but we can also think a bit wider. What about your flexibility? Are you flexible? Can you move really well, especially into old age, which is directly connected to your sexual abilities? Are you flexible in the bedroom? Are you stable there? And can you hold a certain position? And can you fuck her well, which is incredibly important. A woman that gets well, which doesn't happen to her that often, will think about you all day and will talk to you, will talk about you to her friends even. And then there's the other way of working out, which is martial art, which is combat sport, which is fighting. This really pushes your testosterone and gives you that little edge, makes you a little dangerous and makes you attractive because she feels like you can protect her. You shouldn't obviously get in fights all the time, but just the energy around you that you could protect her if something bad would happen is attractive in itself. Also, with working out comes camaraderie with other men, right? You will get gym buddies, you will get sparring partners, you will build a strong male network. And that is actually way more important than women. I know this is a dating channel and we talk about getting into relationships, but having a male tribe is more important than getting a cute girlfriend. And she knows that. If you want to be a man, then you have other men around you that work towards something bigger than yourself. The next habit is making the first move. If you talk about masculinity, if you talk about being a man, it means you have to take action. You have to be a man of action. You have to be the kind of guy that sees an opportunity, which can be a beautiful woman sitting at a cafe or crossing the street, and then you taking action. You're walking up to her, you're giving her a sincere compliment, you're stopping her and you demanding 1 or 2 minutes of her time in a nice, calibrated, gentleman way. She will appreciate that highly. Trust me, I've done thousands of approaches myself and I've taught hundreds of students doing thousands of approaches themselves. So I have the data, I have the proof that it's a good thing and women really appreciate it. Especially feminine women appreciate it because they want a masculine man. And what does a masculine man do? It makes the first move. So if you don't, it's kind of proof to her that you're not masculine enough for her. She's almost using the fact that you either approach or don't approach as a filter. If you don't have the balls to walk up to her, even though you have the Ferrari and you have the bank account, you're not really an option for her. And making the first move is not only true for dating, it's also true for life, right? Are you taking initiative? Are you planning stuff? Are you basically grabbing life by the balls? Are you excited about life? All of that is kind of like your life force that draws her in. Now, Of course, not every approach is successful. Actually, most of them are not successful in the metric of getting a phone number. They are successful in the sense of you overcoming your fear of approaching. So what happens if you get rejected? That brings us to the next habit. Not every approach will be successful, and then you need to be calm. You need to be non-reactive. You need to have a level of stoicism within you. Very important. You have to be grounded. You have to be stable. I always love the analogy of the rock at the coast, the big rock, and then the waves and the wind and the water throwing itself around the rock. And the rock being the masculine and the wind and the water being the fluid feminine. And she needs you to be the rock. So even though it's your job to approach and to make the first move, to grab life by the balls, to try things out, to take risks, sometimes it doesn't go right. And then it's also your job, like it or not, to not let it affect you. Obviously, you can sometimes be a little bit angry or show emotions. Yeah, we're not 100% stoic all the time, but your core must be strong. You need to get over it quickly. This is true for so many situations in life, right? Sometimes you lose your job, sometimes you miss your bus, sometimes there is a traffic jam and you miss something else, sometimes your car tire pops. You lose your shit every time something bad happens to you, or kind of worse, you blame others. This is weakness. This is a sign of weakness to her, and it will lower her attraction. And in general, girls apart, you don't want to be the kind of guy who is constantly in reacting mode, right? He was always angry, he was always finding the next victim to blame, and always like outsourcing the blame to other people. You want to be grounded, you want to be stable. It's a better way of living. So if you sometimes catch yourself blaming others or being very emotional, being very in your head, this is, I think, the first thing you should work on. Start meditating, start taking responsibility, even start making your bed in the morning, right? Start with the things that you have power over, fix these ones first, Jordan Peterson style, make your bed, clean your room, right? Walk up, shoulders back, and then you can tackle bigger problems in the world. Habit number 4, your first impression. Your style, the way you smell, your cleanliness, your elegance, so to say. Basically, how do you present yourself to the world? What is your first impression to her? Because the beautiful thing about your first impression is you have so much control over it. You can decide about all the elements. You have total control over the stuff you put on your body. You have control over how you want to smell. You have control over your hairstyle, your beard, your grooming, which is crazy because so many people, so many men, don't take advantage of that fact. And yes, the first impression matters. If you show up to a girl, be it at a social event, be it at a cold approach, be it at a networking event, she will look at you and she will make assumptions. One famous dude said, you cannot not communicate. You're always communicating something, even if you don't open your mouth. The way you dress, the way you look, the way your eye contact is, the way your grooming is, will communicate something about you nonetheless. So please take control over that. That's the first thing I do when I coach guys either online or in live workshops. I check, okay, can we get a new haircut? Very simple, right? That can be done in an hour. Then let's look at their style. So what I do is I analyze their archetype, I analyze my students' kind of desire, what type of women they're into, what fits them, and then we go online, we get some inspiration, we choose some outfits that are aligned with these goals, and then we go shopping, or they go shopping based on the instructions if it's online coaching, and we completely redefine the first impressions for these guys, and it does make a huge difference. I've had guys who had a very high rejection rate in the first couple of seconds of an approach, and then after the restyling, they were perceived way better, way more attractive to women, because the first impression really makes a difference. So it is the first step to kind of like reinvent your first impression and think like strategically, like, who do I want to be? How do I want to present myself to the world? And then it is a habit to keep that up over time. So if you feel like you are due for a little bit of a transformation, you can click below. I do offer free consultations right now, only 2 per day currently. So be quick, click the link below and we can go on a free call and discuss your style, your archetype, and so on. And last but not least, habit number 5 is ambition. Now, again, you don't need a big car. You don't need a crazy luxurious apartment. You don't need a watch. By the way, no girl looks at watches anyway. You don't need these status symbols. You don't need to present yourself as super rich. What you do need though is ambition. You need to show her that you wanna level up, that you are not satisfied, that you want more, that you wanna help yourself lift up, and that you wanna help the people around you lift up. You don't wanna be egocentric and only believe in you. You wanna help others grow. So you wanna be ambitious, you wanna be hungry, you wanna communicate that, you wanna take on challenges, you wanna share that to the world as well. Like, tell her your plans, tell her your vision, how you see yourself in the next 3 years, what you're working on, why you're working on that, what is important to you. All that stuff is highly attractive and will draw women in. And the beautiful thing about that, on the one hand, is you can do that on the first meeting. You can share that within minutes. You know, don't talk her ear off about your plans, but if she asks you like, hey, what are you doing? You can say, instead of, oh, just getting ice cream, take the question into another direction and say, I'm working on this today, or this week, or this month is all about this for me. And it already communicates that ambition to her on the very first interaction. Now, of course, if you're the kind of guy who always talks and talks and talks, but never delivers, it's not ambition, it's bullshit, right? So you want to make promises to yourself, and you want to make promises to the world, and then you want to keep these promises, and then you want to make bigger promises, and you want to keep these promises, and you want to make bigger promises, and so on. This is how you will gain respect, attraction from her, but really from the world, from the people around you, from the men around you. People will notice, like, this guy says one thing and then he does it. Holy shit, this is different than the guys who say something and then don't do it. I think this guy is a real hustler. There's some practical steps here, some things you can change. If you resonate with that message, comment below. Again, if you want to work with me and really improve your life, really have a better life, attract more women, and attract interesting men into your life through the power of style, fashion, charisma, seduction, approaching, and very important these days, social media, having a strong Instagram profile that sends a message out into the world and attracts people to you, then click below. Free consultation call still available, and I'm gonna enjoy another coffee and then get on with my day. So nice to have you here at my morning breakfast, kind of, and see you in the next video. Peace.